Since Roman Abramovich wheeled into town in the summer of 2003, Chelsea have been like a kid in a candy shop. Billions have been spent in their quest for glory, and to be fair, it's worked. Let's take a look at the lineup of the most expensive players to have ever lined out for Chelsea. Asmir Begovic. You might have expected to find someone like Peter Cech at this list underway. You know, someone who's actually contributed to Chelsea's success, instead of somebody who's booked himself a front row seat on their bench. Having signed from Stoke City in the summer of 2015 for $8 million, Asmir Begovic put his career on hold to collect heftier wages for lesser work, playing just 19 league games in 2 seasons. He's finally got sick of it and has now escaped to Bournemouth. Kurt Zouma. We'll stick with a 3-5-2 formation for this side, which means that Kurt Zouma forces his way in here as one of the club's most expensive ever defenders. He was signed from Saint Etienne in January 2014 for £12 million, but at the age of 22 is yet to nail down a consistent starting place in the lineup. The clock might be ticking on his time at Stamford Bridge. David Luiz. Chelsea have invested so much in David Luiz that he could make this list twice. He was already a steep purchase in February 2011, when Roman Abramovich parted with £21 million for him. He had to fork out £34 million 5 years later to drag him back from PSG. Despite Chelsea fans initially shaking their heads with bewilderment at the decision, it proved to be an inspired choice, with the 30-year-old named in the PFA Team of the Year as the club won the title at a canter. Ricardo Carvalho. A similarly fuzzy-haired chap, you wouldn't be surprised if Luiz tried to model his game and hairstyle on Ricardo Carvalho. Benny McCarthy recently claimed he was the worst trainer he'd ever seen, but there was certainly nothing wrong with him on match day. The £20 million signing from FC Porto was one of Mourinho's first ever purchases in England, and he ended up making over 200 appearances, helping the club to 3 league titles along the way. Michael Essien. Michael Essien was a wanted man in the summer of 2005, not least by Manchester United, but it took the financial muscle of Chelsea to wrestle him away from a reluctant Lyon. The 24 million man became Chelsea's record signing at the time, which is cute when they've since spent more on players to warm the bench. N'Golo Kante. People might say that Chelsea got a bargain with N'Golo and Kante last summer, but it is worth remembering that he's still the most expensive midfielder in their history at £32 million. The Frenchman's rise to prominence inside the last 2 years has been meteoric, winning back-to-back titles with 2 different clubs and playing in virtually every game. Cesc Fabregas. It was a move which made Arsenal fans cry into their pillows. Cesc Fabregas putting pen to paper on a 5-year deal at Stamford Bridge. After the Gunners turned down their first option to buy him back from Barcelona in 2014, the Blues swooped with a £30 million deal to basically throw his Arsenal ties into the Thames. In his 3 seasons at the clubs, the £30 million man has won 2 Premier League titles and a League Cup, which is already far more impressive than the singular FA Cup he lifted during his 7 seasons in North London. Willian. Tottenham supporters are probably still smarting over this one. Willian was inches away from signing at White Hart Lane, having undergone a medical in August 2013, as he was prepared to clinch a big money move from Anzi Makajala. However, Mourinho swooped at the 11th hour, agreed a £30 million fee and personal terms with the player, and Spurs were left with an unsigned contract and Nasser Chadli. He's gone on to score 31 goals in 180 games for the Blues, including 2 against Spurs in last season's FA Cup semi-final. That one surely had to hurt. Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard was one of the most coveted talents in Europe in the summer of 2012. It's just a bit annoying about how he was so publicly blasé about which one to join. After using Twitter to mull over whether to sign for Man United, Spurs, Chelsea, or a host of other random clubs, he made the arbitrary decision after Didier Drogba made the clubs champions of Europe. The £32 million signing from Lille has since been mostly excellent at Stamford Bridge, kicking ball boys aside, although he did go missing during the 15-16 season, scoring 4 goals in 31 games. Although I think Spurs fans will remember one of them. Fernando Torres. Chelsea's club record signing is like a stain in their financial history. Roman Abramovich must have been fully sure he was onto a winner when he parted with £50 million to release Fernando Torres from Liverpool's grip on January's transfer deadline day 6 years ago. The striker had established himself as one of Europe's most lethal finishers, and had regularly been a thorn in Chelsea's side. Well, it took the World Cup winner 18 appearances and 903 minutes to bag his first goal, before missing an open net at Old Trafford at the start of the following season. The scrutiny intensified, the confidence dropped, and his 20 league goals in 110 appearances for the club certainly stand him out as Chelsea's worst ever signing. Michy Batshuayi. There's no doubt Michy Batshuayi is a talented striker, but why spend all that money on someone if you're not going to play them? The Belgian, signed from Marseille for £33 million last summer, was restricted to bench warming duty last season and will probably be doing more of the same if he hangs out for another campaign. Still, he did score the goal that won them the title, so there is always that. Worth £33 million though? Probably not. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and make sure you check out Footy Feed for all the latest transfer rumours and news.